Welcome, 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 guys. I'm actually very much excited for me to bring to you an amazing entrepreneur today, whom I'm going to be spending time and talking about real estate. An entrepreneur all the way from Serbia. And before we get started, guys, please give me some love. Make sure that you actually share this particular live with your friends. Invite everybody, and please tell me if there is a sound, guys. Can you guys hear us? If there is a sound, please mention that. If there is a sound, please comment and tell me if you guys can hear me, because I brought here an amazing gentleman from Serbia. Please comment out if there is a sound. If you guys can hear us, make sure that you mention to me that you guys can hear. I'm just going to give about a minute or so to make sure that people are listening to us. And please comment below, make a comment. Perfect. Somebody says he can hear us. That's beautiful. Tabang says he can hear me. That's beautiful. Paul, can you hear me? I know that you guys are connected. Early on, perhaps you guys couldn't hear the intro sound, but you know what? That's just a little intro for this particular show. And the one thing I want to mention to you guys, this is going to be an amazing show. It is a prelude to an interesting aspect of really understanding the strategies that you guys need to learn to become a successful real estate investor. Not only a real estate investor, but also a property developer. How you can do that in South Africa and how you can start scaling out all the way to other cities, including Dubai, one of my favorite places in the world. And Milan and I have been to Dubai in many places, and right there we actually even recorded a beautiful video. I'm not too sure if I will be able to show that particular video today, but I think I will show the video this coming Friday for you to see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to take a minute while the people are actually coming in. Please share this live. Please share this show. If you are connecting from Facebook or from Twitter or from YouTube, please mention exactly where you are from. Whether you're connecting from the DRC, whether you're connecting from Nigeria, Ghana, or the US, Canada, anywhere around the world, please show me some love. Hit the button out there below, like, share, and comment. We want this to be an interactive session because obviously the only way for you to learn is if you are asking the right questions. And right here, I've got somebody with an amazing story, my good friend Milan, and I'm going to welcome him so that we can actually get started with talking exactly about not only his background, where he is from, and all that kind of stuff. But before I mention that again, please, guys, comment below. Tell me where you are coming from. If you are from the DRC, if you are from Botswana, I got quite a few people following from Botswana. I know that Paul is from Botswana, I believe. And if you are from Johannesburg, please comment, share this particular live because this is going to be an amazing show. Well, without further ado, I want to welcome my guest, Milan Milosevic. Man, welcome on the show, brother.
Hey, John, thanks for having me, brother. Really good to be here. And, during lockdown to offer a bit of
Hmm.
inspiration and, to get people like, hey, wake up and do something. So let's see what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it today. So, yeah, good to be here.
Listen, man, you are an amazing inspiration. The story behind your journey is truly amazing. You're not South African. You are from Serbia. Obviously, I'm going to let you to speak to the audience today, but I really want you to inspire the people today, right? I've listened to you speak before. Your journey is amazing. I mean, somebody who's quite emotional can possibly even cry just by listening to you talk. And I'm not being just overemphasizing on this. That's the reality. And I know that you've gone around South Africa. You've done some amazing tour from Durban to Cape Town to Johannesburg, to Four Ways, to Randburg, to Pretoria, to Sandton, right? You've been in amazing places. And I know that when I go on your website, there is a whole bunch of shows that you actually had scheduled for this particular year that were actually fully booked. But I do believe that the whole situation of the COVID-19 and the pandemic preventing us to actually thrive and travel around has certainly sort of slowed down your momentum. But it hasn't slowed down your spirit. It hasn't slowed down your ability to think. You and I have spoken before the lockdown. And before you actually get started, I want to remind you guys, the Redefine Your Hustle show is a weekly show every single Monday at 7 p.m. The purpose of the show is I am bringing to you an amazing guy that I've met in my journey over the last 15 years as an entrepreneur traveling around the world, in the four corners of the world. And this guy is from Serbia. I've met him and he found love in South Africa. He's going to talk to us about it. But next week, there's going to be somebody else. And the week after, somebody else. Every single Monday, the one person you guys will see me bringing to you live is somebody who will bring his inspirational journey and talk to you from the heart exactly what it means to being an entrepreneur, hustling, and because we want this to be relatable, right? So many of us here were not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And we do believe in one thing: hard work pays off. But the reality is, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are looking forward to understand exactly how they can actually get started, right? So some people, all they want is an inspiration. And that's the reason why I am bringing these guys on board so that they can actually inspire you and they can talk to you guys directly and they can talk about their journey, their hardship, their hard moment, right? So that you too can go out there and make it happen for yourself, not only for yourself, but also for your community. And the reality in the end is if you succeed, how do you then in return help other people to succeed? That's what I'm all about, guys. That's why my team and myself came up with the name of the show, Redefine Your Hustle. Because we're not looking at hustling as a way to suffer. No, we're looking at hustling the American way, a way for us to be inspired about hard work and that it pays off so that you too can go out there just like 50 cents and be hustling our journey through. My man, welcome on the show. And right now, without further ado, really, I want you, man, to talk about yourself. Come on, take the stage and nail this down, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for that wonderful intro. I mean, I always like to say it's amazing. Everybody has a story, right? And but some people, they're just afraid to tell that story because they don't know what's going to come up from the other end. But look, once I realized that with your story you can inspire people, that you can share your journey and your experience and show someone that, hey, you're not alone. I've been through different things, and we'll talk about later on. But you know what I've experienced, I can probably help you to overcome what you're going through right now, because it's not the first time happening that we're struggling. It's not the first time happening that people don't have money, that people don't have jobs. I've been there before. I understand what people are going through, but for some people, it might be the first time. So, and they think, oh, it's happening. The whole world is crashing on me. They don't know what to do. So my story is here truly to inspire someone and to understand that, hey, there is a way out. There is a way that you can pick yourself up, that you can find the way, that you can find that light at the end of the tunnel. And all you have to do is ask, you know, how do I change my situation and turn it into a better place? How do I make more money? How do I leave a legacy for my kids and their kids, right? It's all about asking and picking yourself up from that bottom, right? I mean, my story today is really truly a way to share this journey and show someone that, hey, I'm with you. You're not alone. That you can equally achieve success regardless where you're coming from, how much money you have, how much knowledge you have, how many degrees you have, doesn't really matter. What matters is how bad you want it. I mean, the reason why John and I, we got together, there's some invisible force got us all together. We realize we have so much things in common and that is that drive, right? We're never going to stop in making world a better place. It's not even about the money. It's about really making a difference, changing lives, and really showing people that you can equally do the same thing. Right. I mean, if I can start my journey all the way from Serbia originally, I was born and raised there, and my dad was electrician. My mom was an accountant working for a bank, but, you know, we had an average life, never really asked for a lot, but, you know, we had travels once a year and never really asked for much, but never really felt need to ask for more, like, because this is what you have to go to school, you have to go to college, get a job, eventually get married, buy a house, buy a car, right? And that was just the way it is. That's what people would do. And I tried to do things that way, and just some questions started rising up at the point. Okay, but why do I have to do it this way? I mean, I know people went to colleges, they struggle. I know people who got married, they're not happy. I know people who really don't know to give me an answer. Where's this college going to take me, right? And I say, okay, so if you tell me that if I go to that particular college, I'm going to get a job, well, there's no guarantee. Okay, so why should I go to that college? Well, maybe you can hope to get a job. Okay, let me go and try. First year try, second year tried, I failed. Same college twice, I like to say. Okay, must be a better way. Okay, I got a job then. I got a job there working the shoe store for 4.5 years, basically. And you know what my dad told me, Milan, you need to save money. Save as much as you can, right? So that's the way of making money. It used to be by our parents, right? So I started saving, saving, saving. 4.5 years of savings, I bought myself a car because that's, as a youngster, you want to buy a car, right? You need a car for some reason. Because back in the days, I know it is the same right now. If you don't have a car, girls don't want to deal with you, right? So my first car I bought was Fiat Uno. Oh, by the way,
Right.
here's an advice: don't ever buy that car. By the way, after 4.5 years of savings, I bought a car, and now I have a car. But the next question is, okay, I'm broke again. Am I going to save for another 4.5 years? Maybe buy Fiat Punto. If you guys into cars, you know that's a model after. And I said, okay, this is not really the way I want to do, like saving all my life and then eventually buy some stuff that I don't even care anymore. I mean, when you buy a car, if you ever own a car, right, you're excited the first time, and then 1 month later, like, it's just a car, it takes you from A to B or whatever, right? And the whole my journey when I was a youngster in my 19s and 20s, I thought I knew everything. Okay, now I need to go and make more money. Let's find another job, better paid job, right? Obviously, you have to support your family. Back home, I was living with my family for years, right? And now you have to give some money to your family back, still trying to save. And then years goes by, you still end up where you started, right? Not enough money. And then the whole point when I was a youngster, I know a lot of youngsters right now, is how can I make more money? Where do I find more money? Which is a better paid job that I can do, right? And for me, it was basically working overseas. Let me go and try to work overseas on the cruise ships. So I basically applied for different positions, ended up working the cruise ships. But funny enough, a lot of people would allow themselves to stop doing something even before they started. A lot of people, obstacles were like, okay, you want to go and work on the cruise ships. You don't speak English. How are you going to do that? Okay, let me go and learn English. I speak a little bit, right? Oh, I don't speak English at all. Maybe I shouldn't even try, right? What if you go there and fail? So what if you fail, right? Look, I had a bit of a basic understanding of English language. I was struggling with English for many, many years, but I didn't let that stop me, right? So the whole point was like, go there on the interview, go there, apply for that job, and whatever happened, at least you're doing something. Right. And I think this was truly the secret of my success in life. Was I didn't let obstacles stopping me from doing things. I didn't let all these excuses stopping me for even trying, right? Look, you don't know how to speak English. Well, learn a little bit better. Go there and try. At least you're doing something. You will be surprised, John, and you guys, by the computers and phones, you will be surprised how many people don't even want to try anything in life because they already know that they will fail. They already know it's not for them. How do you know? How do you know if you don't try? I always say, go and try. Try it for yourself and stay. I promise you, if you stay long enough in one industry with many failures, because failures are necessary for it to happen, eventually you will learn how not to do things. And that's what it truly is, the secret in life. Try, fail as many times you can fail, but always fail forward. When you're failing, right? When you're failing, you're learning how not to do things, right? I failed. Okay, good. I'm not going to quit, but I'm going to learn how not to do things. I'm going to do it again and again. Again, the problem is most people, they have this breaking point. At some point, they're going to quit. But the secret between successful entrepreneurs and the ones who are not, successful entrepreneurs, they fail many, many times, but they never quit. They always keep moving forward. I know you, John. I know your mindset as well. We're pretty much similar. We always keep moving forward. We always want to grow to the next level, right? And my desire to leave my country 15 years ago, to leave my family, to say my dad at the airport, Dad, look, I need to do things. I need to leave this. But what if you fail? It doesn't matter, Dad. I have to leave all of you guys, Mom, you, my sister. I have to leave everybody that I ever loved because I have to go and pursue my own greatness. But I promise you, I remember this like it was yesterday. I told my dad, Dad, I promise you one day I'm going to make you proud.
Right.
I'm going to make you proud. I don't know how, but watch me. Watch me. It was a long journey. I mean, when I was looking at my country, Serbia, 15 years ago through that airplane little window, and the tears goes by because you remember you're leaving everything behind, everything that you ever loved. But here's the very, very important question that you ask yourself once in your lifetime. Are you willing? Are you willing to leave everything behind? Everything that was ever holding you back, and go and pursue your own greatness. If you are, if you're willing to sacrifice all that, success will happen. Success will happen. And the question I have for your viewers right now is, are you willing to give up on everything you have right now, on your house, on your car, on your lifestyle that you have right now, and go and start all over again tomorrow? If you're willing, and that is the sacrifice that you might be able to take. But the good news is there is a way to pick yourself up. So I was willing to sacrifice all that for the purpose of finding my success and greatness. And I found it overseas. It wasn't in my country. Just couldn't fit there. I always felt, hey, I was that black sheep. I couldn't fit there. Like I was all against the system. I don't want to do this. And I found it. I went overseas, worked on the cruise ships, changed different positions, started from scratch, worked in the gift store, in the gift shop, basically. I used to sell liquor, believe it or not. I know all about liquor. I know liquor store guys. They're going to open in June in South Africa. Level 3 is coming. They're so excited. I know all about liquor and alcohol. Not that I'm drinking. I can't even drink much, but I learned all there is about sales, eventually built myself up. I worked for 10 years on the cruise ship, met my beautiful wife there.
Wow.
From Joburg. And we got all serious. And that's how the whole journey started, And
Okay.
she actually brought me to the whole new level of mindset and thinking ahead, thinking outside of that box. That valuable lesson I'm going to share with you guys today is whatever you think that you know right now, there's so much more out there. And the moment you say, I know, that's exact moment you're closing your door for more information, because there's so much out there, right? We can talk about property. We can talk about business and any position right there. And we can say, oh, look, being a speaker, look, John, you and I, we both speakers, international speakers, right? Being on a stage looks easy, but we both know it takes years of polishing that craft to be on that stage and make it look so easy, right? And people say, look, this guy, look, you're on the stage, looks so easy. I want to do the same thing. Okay, here's the mic. And they're like, okay, what do I say now, right? Same thing with property, real estate, right? It looks easy when you see people making it, but there's a lot of process and different things that you have to deal with to get to that point. So whatever you think you know, it's good, but you have to build that knowledge. You have to pick yourself up to the next level, learning from people who've been there where you want to be, who are experts in the field, right? What else do I need to learn to see success? Where do I see opportunities right now during COVID-19, right? How do I make money with my business? How do I grow my business, right? How do I reach that next level? It's all about what else do you need to learn? And understand something. It's never ending story. Whatever you're going to learn, there's so much more out there, because you want to become a millionaire, right? You become a millionaire. Okay, next thing is like, how do I become a billionaire, right? You have to learn from people who are above. It's all about learning. Understand that and create that habit of learning. For me, it was doing this, failing many times, but creating a habit of picking yourself up again and again, and eventually that becomes a habit.
Right.
And now what people are experiencing right now in your life, you fail now, is difficult, you're losing jobs, companies are going bankrupt, laying off people. For you, might be the first time. For myself, for John, and John, it's not the first time. This happened before. Look, went through some difficult crisis. 2008 for myself was 1994, massive crisis back home. And we've been there before, but the habit was created of picking yourself up, looking outside of the box, and looking for more opportunities. We're going to talk about opportunities a bit later on. Hope you guys not crying already. So there you go. Get excited, guys.
That you are amazing. So this is exactly what the audience is looking for. Okay, so we're bringing here people who want to be driven by that. I'm going to tell you something. I remember I went to Grant Cardone, by the way. You are now for the Grant Cardone, right? So he's my mentor. He's the one person who has taught me so much when it comes to money and investing and real estate as well. So I go to Miami and I go and attend this show. So there's like 2,500 people, and this is the first ever growth conference that I was actually a part of. Since then, I think he's had about 4 shows. And at the end of the show, like a 3 days event, I go and see him in his office in his Aventura office in Miami. And when I return, I come back to South Africa, but then I go to my home country in the DRC, and something deep inside of me is empty. I feel completely empty, completely lost, because I'm like, okay, I went, I listened, I was so excited, but there's like a void in me. What can I do? It took me 2 months. I wasn't posting anymore on Instagram. I wasn't posting anymore. I mean, I could have been posting a lot of beautiful pictures of me in Miami, but there was something missing. I felt like when I was in Miami, there was so much fire that enough for me to start producing and so many things. But then when I was leaving and coming back, I was looking for the one thing that could actually keep that fire burning in me until I found a video online. And as I watched that video, it rekindled that particular fire in me. And I was like, wow, that's just the motivation that I was looking for. And I think right now, you could be just the motivation that a lot of people are looking for right now. Because you know what? So many people are desperate. So many people are looking for a way out. So many people are, hey, you know what? I want to get started in property. I want to get started doing something. It may not be property. It could be that your energy, the energy that you exude right now, could be just the one thing that can help somebody else to move into the from where they are into a whole another level, right? And for me, that's the beauty about being an entrepreneur and helping each other so that we can all encourage ourselves and say, you know what, you can do this. Learn from somebody else, learn from that particular person. That's why I have you here, my friend. But you know what? Having said what you said, the one thing I want you to talk about is, and I know that you spoke a little bit about this, by the way, your life in Serbia and finding love in South Africa. I mean, I didn't know that you found your love on a cruise ship. Can you tell me a little
Yes.
bit more about where was it? Was it a cruise in America? Was it a cruise in South Africa? Or which part of the world did you guys meet? And how were you convinced that South Africa was the place for you?
Dang, man, that's a very good question. I brought some memories. Now, look, I worked on the cruise ship for 10 years total. I changed different cruise lines and different positions, right? But I met my wife, I believe it was 2006. 2006. I saw this chick, good looking girl, Sylvia Coquetzo, right? And I was always kind of find her attractive, but people would like to say, Milan, you used to be a player back in the days, good looking. I wasn't all that. I was just looking for someone, a steady relationships and
Right.
changing all the girlfriend. I just couldn't find one. And eventually we met on the cruise ship. I believe it was Norwegian Dawn. It was Norwegian Cruise Line. And they were doing Caribbean cruises from, I believe it was New York at that point of time, from New York going down to Caribbean.
Okay.
And eventually we started dating. And I remember she went home for some time, got back home, and I was so excited to see her again because you have contracts, about 6 to 8 months contracts. You work on a cruise ship and then you go home for 2 months. And when she left first, I'm like, oh, we didn't even get a chance to date. And then she came back home. And I remember that moment was in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. I saw her on the pier and I went to her like, hey, welcome back, and I think that's how it all started. Eventually, I was just out of a relationship and she would also finish her own. And then we kind of started dating and that's how it all started. And since 2006, right now, 2020, 14 years together. We got married in
Ah, beautiful.
2010.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we actually got engaged on the cruise ship somewhere in the middle of the ocean. I don't even remember where, but it was in the middle of the ocean. We were working. I was like, it was on a Valentine's Day. And I proposed. Look, she was at the crew bar. So we have bars at the cruise ship, right? So she was there with
Right.
her friends. So I dressed up all nice, put a tie, and I waited with the ring, right? In the cabin. We had little cabins back in the days. So she came back into the cabin and I went down to the knee. Look, would you marry me? And it was so funny. First thing she did, like some women would do like, cover her face. And she's like, are you for real? I said, I'm for real, but better hurry up because my knee already hurts. So and that's how it started. She said yes. And first thing she did, that was after midnight in South Africa. She said, I got to call my family, my mom, my grandma, my entire family members. They need to find this out. I got engaged. And that's how it all started. And funny enough, 5 minutes after that, she says, well, what's the next step? What? Well, now we have to get married. Oh, really? Okay. Well, nobody told me that. So I thought I'm going to be engaged for some time, but eventually we ended up getting married in 2010. We had our African wedding. We had 2 weddings, white wedding, so-called. An African wedding was fun. And that's how it all started. 2010, got married, and we have 2 little kids right now, 2 little twins, 3 years old, wow. Stephen and Jasmine. They're driving us crazy right now. They're in the 3.5 right now, and they're just hilarious. Boy and a girl, twins, and they're the pride of my life and the joy of my day. Really happy that everything started. I ended up in South Africa. We live here in Joburg in 4 ways. And what resonated with me in South Africa are
Right.
people mentality, and humbleness, and that Ubuntu, you can say, like,
I love
I,
that.
right, we have that in Serbia. If you've never been there, Serbians, we're normally very friendly people. We love spending time with people, and we express it most of the time. But that feeling I felt here, I felt like home. And
Right.
since then, since 2010, we're living here for good, and really loving it. And the people, they welcome me from the beginning. There's not like, my wife, she's African, and I'm pale skin, trying to get tan doesn't work. But they accepted me from the beginning as a part of them. Like, hey, here's a pup, come here, let's eat, let's go. And like, it is. I never felt that, that you different, that you from elsewhere, that you're a foreigner. I never felt that, and from the
Right.
beginning, I felt like I'm home, and that's why I'm here still, right?
Beautiful. Well, you know what? The most burning question, and one of the reasons why a lot of people are actually here today, because over the last probably since the pandemic started, and I've been speaking on multiple podcasts and Zoom conferences, and especially talking about money, saving and investing. I'm a fan of money. Since I really started understanding money, I was like, nah, this is something I have to really own. I have to grow with and make sure that I help a lot of people to really understand. So I've been talking about real estate investing and so forth, and I knew that this day would come for me to invite you so that you could actually speak to a lot of people. So the one thing I want to do right now is I want you to kind of explain, to the people out there. Uh, First of all, you leave Serbia, you go on a cruise ship, and eventually you meet your wife on a cruise, and you guys get married. But what actually led you to finding your success in real estate, as well as being today a property
Mm.
developer? I know you've got amazing project, and as a matter of fact, I know after this call you and I need to engage on a couple of things, on a couple of projects. But please tell me exactly, and this audience and the viewers, what is the journey that led you to get there? An area that a lot of Black people in South Africa often think that it is only left for the white people, right? So the guys who control the economy in South Africa. And today, you guys are, you've created some amazing structures, and you are providing a dream to the African people that, young Black men and women, you too can become a real estate investor. Please tell me your journey so that our viewers can really understand exactly where you come from.
Perfect. I'm really glad you asked. And just to go back a little bit, what you were saying earlier, and you posted, I think, yesterday from Grant Cardone.
Yeah,
So many smart people. You might be so smart, so intelligent, right? But if you're small thinking, it's not going to help you much, right?
I'm
If
gonna
you're
help
not
them out.
thinking big, if you're not thinking outside of that little box of your degree that you have, it's not going to get you anywhere. And I was that guy, and I really resonated with, like, when I was 19, I thought I was the smartest guy in the world. I know how life works. I'm 19, and then when I turned 20, that 19-year-old guy didn't know anything. I'm know much more. And similarly, every single year I was growing. And now in my 40s, now it's like, man, those 19-year-old kid back in the days didn't have a clue what life is, right? And
Right,
it's all about learning from people, and grabbing their energy. I mean, South Africa needs leaders, needs
right.
someone to guide them, someone to show them how it's done, and someone to really show them that, really, regardless how much knowledge you have, how much money you have, your skills, where you're coming from poverty, from toughness, doesn't really matter. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't really matter. If this guy who could barely speak English, coming from overseas, from foreign country, managed to build a massive portfolio right here, massive network of people in property space, and
Mm,
we
mm.
train over 40,000 people, went through a workshop. So let me tell you a
Wow.
fact. We helped our students to raise funding in over 500 million rand for their projects in property. If that is
Beautiful.
possible, look, anybody can do anything. Anybody
Yeah,
can do anything. How
yeah.
we started, look, let me tell you, to be honest, I hated property at the beginning. When I met my wife, she was the one, look, Milan, I bought a property. and say, how about you join me? Let's buy properties together. I said, oh no, I have to deal with tenants. What if they don't pay you? You know, assumption, you assume, what if
Mm.
this, what if that? But I've never done it myself. And it's no, but this is how it works. The banks, you can buy through a bank, and there's different guarantees that even okay. So we joined forces. So we bought a property, right? So we had two properties at the time. But the thing is, we had this mindset, okay, we're not going to spend a lot of money on other people to helping us. Let's try to do this by ourselves, right? Let's try to handle it with tenants by ourselves. Look, we didn't even know what the contract is. You know, people come to us, yes, you have a property in Pretoria, we would like to rent. And we sit down with them, oh, these are nice people. Oh, they're so gentle and nice. Maybe you should just give them this property. We didn't even know about the deposit. Like, just pay us, tomorrow. And the first tenant happened to be a bad tenant. There was a lady I'm not going to mention, but lady moved into our property and didn't even give us a deposit. She's going to pay tomorrow. And first thing tomorrow, she changed the locks. Like, how is this even legal? And then she would say, well, guess what? Law is on my side right now. You can't just kick me out. How do you even
Wow.
deal with the bad tenant? Didn't you know what a bad tenant is, right? And there's a process going on, but you learn the hard way. You learn the hard way
Right.
because you're trying to do it by yourself. That was
Yeah.
one of our biggest mistakes. And then eventually we dealt with different bad tenants. We had different things, maintenance issues with different properties. Down the line, 8 years down the line, long story short, the reason we went into property as a long-term investor. Let's buy a property. And if we're looking about 8 to 10% average growth, right, it's going to take us about 8 to 10 years to double the value of our property, right?
Correct.
Technically,
Yeah.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
And 8 years later, let's see the value of these properties right now. Maybe we can sell them. And to my surprise, we realized the value grown only 8% total for this 8 years. I say, okay, something's wrong here. I was supposed to make 100% in 10 years. I made only 8%. What's wrong with this? And the guy would tell me, the estate agent say, Milan, that's what the market does. Market goes up and down. And right now, the market wasn't really good. If you sell your property right now, you're going to make only 8% return. When you pay my fees, estate agent's fees, I'm going to make maybe 4% or so. Why was I doing this for 8 years? And I was really upset with that. But then the journey started with my wife, Kuketo, said, look, Milan, looks like we don't know what we're doing right now. Looks like we're feeling stuck. And most people go into the same mindset. Let's buy property for the long-term strategies. Eventually, maybe it's going to be big down the line. It just doesn't happen. People end up being stuck with their properties. They don't know what to do, right? We were feeling stuck. My wife said, look, Milan, let's find someone to teach us how to do this. Because it looks like, obviously, we don't know how to. We can continue doing by ourselves. We're going to make more mistakes, lose more money. Let's find someone. So we ended up in a workshop, and we were so impressed by people who were presenting there. And people came from the UK to teach us. And we said, okay, look, these people can teach us something more. There's so much more out there. We actually got ourselves enrolled. I was the first person, went to the back. Look, there's an opportunity. I don't want to miss out. Went to the back, got myself, my wife enrolled. And that decision changed our lives forever.
Right.
Forever. Sometimes you have to take action. We got ourselves a mentor, learned from the multimillionaire. First mentor was a multimillionaire property investor, guided us in so many different ways. And I ended up right here. I always like to say it this way. Look, started from that way, learning from the right people. I have a property development in Pretoria North. We have another one just approved in Four Ways, just across from the mall. It's going to be a mini boutique hotel as well. So many opportunities happening right now. Yes, I have a big house and amazing family. I traveled to over 40 different countries in the world, but property is taking care of my lifestyle right now as we speak. It's all about, it's not about bragging. Again, I want people to understand that it's not about bragging. It's really showing people that if I was able to do it, started from scratch, learning from the right people, having enough desire, motivation to make it happen, anybody can do this.
You know what? That what you just mentioned is very important for our viewers right now. I mean, for everybody listening to us, the importance of having a mentor in your field where you want to excel. Find the right person, somebody who has excelled, somebody who has succeeded in that
Right.
particular field to hold you by the hand and help you out. For many, many years, for over 8 years, I never understood the importance of having a mentor until I found Grant Cardone, who literally started helping me out. And man, I tell you, my mind was blown, completely blown. And I
Right.
realized that when you have a mentor in your life, you can have one or multiple mentors. okay, in your life. But when you have a mentor, find a mentor who has done the things you aspire to become. If it is in real estate, look, we have a mentor right here, and he and I are in business together. He's in the real estate. I'm on the alternative investment side of things. So we're packaging quite a few beautiful things for you guys, and you will know about it very very soon. So if you want to be in I don't know, in the IT field, find a mentor in the IT field. If you want to be in agriculture, find a mentor in agriculture, whatever that is. But find a mentor. And had you not taken that decision to go out and attend a particular workshop, I don't think that you would have listened to the stories of these people, right? And the
Yeah.
issue that a lot of us Black people, especially, think of when we think of mentorship, we automatically thinking, oh no, it's going to be expensive. Oh, first of all, how much is it going to be? Right? Look,
Right.
if you start thinking about how much, you are only limiting your abilities to succeed in life. So take that
100%.
leap of faith, because going for a mentorship, even if that mentorship is uh, 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 like a 2 hours mentorship or 2 days mentorship, but you know what? It will unlock something in your brain, in your mind, that would allow you to see things from a different perspective. And that's the best investment you want to do in your life. The best investment. You find it
Oh,
doesn't matter. Yesterday I was listening to Grant Cardone, he's his daily lives, right? And there's this guy who phones in, and I think he phones in from Massachusetts. And this guy, first of all, is thanking Grant that he said, you know what? I want to thank you so much. I've been following you for 5 years, and you've literally changed my mind, changed my life. And this guy has never seen or met Grant Cardone face to face, but he's been following Grant, right? And
mm,
guess what? He's got $75,000 investment with his fund. But you know what? And he also said to him that during this pandemic, he's been paying a mentor, another mentor in something else, $500 an hour just
mm.
to speak to him on the phone and to give him some guidance. $500 an hour. Now, how many Black people do we know? For those of you listening to me right now, and I'm being very serious about this, how many of you will be able to spend $500, let's say 5,000 Rand per hour, whether you do per hour per week, and that will be 20,000 right a month? How many of you are ready to spend just so you can get mentorship from somebody who has done it and succeeded and so forth? So this particular knowledge is amazing. So Milan, I want you to take me through the businesses that you have co-founded. Okay, so I know that you have created Wealth Alliance and Think and Grow Rich. Tell me a little bit about that story, that journey, and while you do so, I'm going to find a website, your website, and share with our viewers exactly what you do and so forth. But please go on and and just talk to the people exactly about how you made it happen.
Sure, I'm glad you asked. I mean, it all started with the same idea that you were talking about right now, right? Because in life you have a choice. You can do things by yourself, or you can find someone to help you, right? And regardless of you white or black, or it doesn't matter of your skin tone, the mindset could be the same. You have a lot of people who say, "Hey, don't learn from someone there. They're gonna charge you. You're gonna spend a lot of money. There's a book. Just buy that book. Everything is in the book." And it might be everything in the book, but the problem is, book is not going to teach you how to take action, right? We always have a choice in life: do it yourself or find someone to help you. The question is always the same. If you do it by yourself, yes, you might see success, but you're gonna make a lot of failures. You will make a lot of mistakes. The question is how much each one of these mistakes are going to cost you at the end of the day, right? If you get someone who's been through different mistakes, who knows exactly the way, who can tell you, look, there is a price for this knowledge, but I can save you so much time and hassle that I can put you in the right path. You decide if this is something that you would like to do. I know that learning from people who knew more than me put me ahead of whole curve of people who just trying to do it themselves and still making mistakes. And that's the whole idea when we started Wealth Alliance and Think and Grow Rich. Let's create a platform where we can bring the top property experts in the country, including myself and my wife. We've been doing this for many, many years. Since we started, we made a lot of mistakes. Let's gather the team of people. Who are these top property specialists in South Africa, specifically in South Africa? Let's find them and let's partner up with them. And that's what happened. We have a team of great people, residential, commercial developers, property specialists, amazing mentors we have under our umbrella. And we created this program. It's called Think Grow Richer, Lifetime Riches in Property. It's also based on principles of Napoleon Hill's bestseller. It's called Think and Grow Richer. If you ever read the book, highly recommend that book. When Napoleon Hill wrote the book about laws of success that successful people need to have in order to become successful. There's 13 principles, later expanded to 17. But following these principles, you will be able to see success in any field of life by following them strictly, but especially in property. So that's how Wealth Alliance Think and Rich started, as a partnership, as an alliance of experts, technology marketing experts, to bring the top experts in property, in trading, in area of business, put them under the same umbrella and give people a hope. Look, if you want to learn about property, this is the right place to be. And that's why we have over 40,000 people went through our workshops and so many success stories. And I'm always, not that I'm bragging, but I'm always proud of these success stories when you see people coming from nothing. And when they had the first deal, when they buy the first property, one of the greatest feelings you can ever feel is when you buy your first property. You work so hard for it, you have it, you work hard for it, and there it is. And you know you put a bit of an effort, and that's what all this is about. How do we get people, regardless where you're coming from townships, rich or poor, doesn't matter. How do we take you to the next level? Maybe you are just a beginner. Maybe you don't know anything about property. Doesn't really matter. How do you start, right? Maybe you've been in property, maybe you bought a property or two, but you're feeling stuck. You don't know how to scale this business to finally start making profit out of property, right? Also, we have a group of people who've been in property for a while, but they don't see the returns that are expected, right? How do we scale your business to that next level? So we, in a way, have all these people under our umbrella, different students. So the program is tailored for everyone, pretty much so.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah. So look, you've said it all, and I know that we are going to obviously come back this coming Friday at 7 p.m. to talk at great length. In fact, the Friday show is going to be a very special show because I know that a lot of people are interested about real estate investing and property development, and 1 hour is not going to suffice. So that particular show for Friday, we are going to spend about an hour and a half just to ensure that people will come in with a lot of questions, because before we end, I just want you to give a few nuggets that will get a lot of people excited to coming back on Friday. But the one thing that I want to talk about is, you know, and I think you've mentioned here as part of the conversation, the entrepreneurial mindset to succeed in real estate investment and property development. I want you to come back again and talk to the audience about that particularly.
Perfect. I mean, look, it's all about the mindset. I think if anything in life is going to take you to the next level in any business, in any industry, is your mindset. You understanding that you will have to fail. There's no perfect journey. There's no, hey, I start a business today and tomorrow I'm going to be successful. You will make a lot of mistakes. You will fail. You will fail. Accept that fact and accept the fact that when you fail, what are you going to do then? Are you going to quit like most people would because it's just too hard, Milan? Milan, this is so hard. Milan, you are telling me that I need to go and talk to 100 agents to get one deal, Milan. Oh, that's a lot of work. Milan, that's a lot of work. I wish you have something much easier so I can just sit home, press the button, and money comes out in my pocket. You know, look, understand something. You need to put some effort to get something out of it. There's no something for nothing. And here's the thing. If I tell you, look, go there, talk to 100 agents, you will have that one deal. That one deal will come in your pocket. If that one deal might give you 100,000 Rand, you tell me, is it worth it? You know, somebody said, Milan, it's worth it. It's worth it. It might take you 2 months or so, but it's worth it, Milan. Somebody must say, Milan, 2 months working for 100,000 Rand, that's not enough, Milan. You know, it's too much work again. Look, but what if that one deal is 1 million Rand? Exactly. The whole point is you're doing it, right? You're doing something. Most people, believe it or not, John, and you guys by your screens, most people will give up because they just think it's too hard. If it's easy, understand that. If it's easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy. It's not. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. You have to do something. You have to do something. And I bet you, let me tell you, most frequent question I get, Milan, how do I start? Where do I start? How do I start? I have no money. I have a bad credit score. I have nothing. How do you expect me to buy any property? Where do I start? Here's a question for all of you guys. I bet you right now that each one of you by your screens, you have access to property opportunities right now as we speak. you don't even realize. Let me tell you
True.
what I mean. There's a couple of ways where do we find deals, right? One of the most common ways is from motivated sellers, motivated distressed sellers, right? So
Especially
would you all agree? Right, motivated seller. Would you all agree that each one of you by your screens right now, they know someone who lost a job at some point of their lives or who's about to lose a job? That each one of you knows someone whose company is going through a bit of a recession, right? They laid off people. Maybe you're part of these companies, right? I bet you that each one of you right now knows someone who's going through a divorce right now as we speak. I bet you right now that most of you know someone who passed away. Grandma, grandpa passed away. Now, I want you to think a little bit outside of the box, right? Look, if there's a motivated seller who just lost a job, would you all agree that, I mean, in a couple of months from now, if this lockdown continues, and I believe it will, we're on stage 3, stage 2, who knows when's going to happen? Stage 1, some people predicting next year, right? It's crazy. How much money you have right now in your bank account, your cash flow that will help you sustain your living expenses for the next couple of months, right? If you don't have much, if you have for only 1 month, you should be afraid because that money will run out. And then you basically will become that motivated seller. Now, when you need money quickly, then you need to sell your properties you have. You need to sell them. You become a motivated seller. So here's an opportunity.
that's
You can
it.
go to people like this. You might be in this kind of situation. What about if you build your network of property investors who are looking for deals like this? Say, Milan, look, there's a motivated seller right there. They're willing to sell property below market value. How about you find that deal and pass that deal to your network of people like myself, like joint investors, right? We don't mind paying for deals as long as we can see the profit at the end of the day. Now, some of you might say, but Milan, aren't you taking advantage of this opportunity? It's sad, people losing jobs. They'll have to be forced to sell their properties. Look, they'll be forced to sell their properties. You might feel bad for people, but they need to sell them to get some money, and they don't mind selling them below market value so that they can get the money in their pocket today, right? If you don't take that opportunity, someone else will, right? Also, people going through divorce. Just an example, give me something. There's so many different ways. In fact, there's 10 ways of funding your property deals. There's 15 powerful strategies. Just mention a few, right? People
Remember,
going through divorce.
I'm adding the other way there, which we are going to talk about on Friday.
Right.
10 ways I
No,
use.
no, just to get people warmed up, right? Look, somebody's going through a divorce. Husband and wife bought a house together, right? When they were in
Yeah.
love. Now they don't like each other anymore. They have to sell this property. They want to split the profit. They're willing to sell it below market value. Different things, right? Also, grandma, grandpa, they used to live in the house somewhere right now. Family members, they own that house. And family members, right, they need money. Hey, let's sell that grandma's old house, split the profit. They're willing to lower the price. So look, it's all about knowing where the opportunity lies, right? But if you don't have the knowledge, if you assume there's no opportunities, we're stuck right now at home, we're just relying on the government, we're hoping that lockdown is going to finish tomorrow, well, you are literally digging yourself in a hole. You're relying on one income stream. And I've been preaching this for years. Don't ever rely on one income stream or one strategy, whether it's your job or one property strategy, because if it's only one thing, right, that one will fail. It's happening right now. Your job fails you. You have nothing else, right? You fail. You're not a failure, but it fails you, right? You never thought about it. You're working so hard. You had a job paying for your house, your car. Now you don't have it anymore. What are you going to do next? You have to think outside the box.
That's
Simple
it.
as that.
That's it.
That's it.
You've just, this is beautiful, man. I'm getting warmed up for Friday. I'm getting pumped up,
Yeah,
and I think you kind of touched on that a little bit. But how is the COVID-19 situation affecting the real estate sector on the negative side, but also on the positive side? And how? And I think you've mentioned that as well right now. But how can anybody find opportunities during this moment? I mean,
right.
just this in my complex whereby I actually invited her to watch the show. I'm not too sure if she's watching the show. If she is, please comment there. Otherwise, I'll follow up and send you the video later on. But she was telling me, hey, you know what? I've got a friend of mine. We were talking about investing, and she says, I've got a friend of mine, and she's really stressed. Now listen to this, and that for me was an opportunity already. The moment I listened to her, she said, I've got a
Right.
friend stressed because she want to get rid of her property. Automatically I remember this is an opportunity because
That's it.
she wants to do either two things. She wants to either sell the property or find a tenant real quick, but she was really under stress, a lot of stress. But those people, may not necessarily know everything surrounding them. It could be they don't know the rights. It could be they don't know how to renegotiate the terms of the deals or whatever the bond that they've been into. They don't understand the impact of the the Reserve Bank and changing, for example, the interest rate and how that can impact them positively or negatively. For those, some of them could be impacted negatively, especially those who sign a long-term lease or a long-term bond on a fixed term
Right.
interest, right? So you can only imagine that if your interest were about 15%, assuming, and now the Reserve Bank has reduced the rate, and you guys you
Mm.
were on a long term, so that you completely nailed out, and you could be like a distressed seller, right? So those are the opportunities there. Can you please tell to the audience, man? I want you to really get people excited to come back on Friday.
Right. I
Tell us
mean,
if
let
you
you
have
ask. I mean, look, obviously, I mean, because of limitation movement, you can't really go around and look at the properties. Yes, they introduced this, like, you can look at the properties virtually online, but it's still not the same thing. You have to go inside the house. You have to look for cracks, right? I go with my contractor all the time with my builder. Say, look, let's look at some cracks. Maybe there's some water leakage. I need to have the first person impression when I go inside the property, right? But also from the stage 3 in South Africa right now, we're going to be able to do that. You'll be able to walk around for real estate sector. You'll be able to go and look at the properties. Now, obviously, the interest rate is the lowest ever right now. So you want to buy properties, now will be time to do it. But I want to give you a tip right now. Buy properties only if it's cash flowing from day one. Like,
correct.
whatever I mean. You want to buy a property and you need to know your numbers. You want to buy a property. So if you rent that property from that first month, that property should put the money in your pocket from that first month. That rent should be enough to cover that payment for the bond if you want to use the bank and still have some extra profit in your pocket. You don't want to wait for 10 years to start making profit. You need to make profit from day one. So that's why I need to know the strategies, right? So that lady you were talking about, right? So she's stressing out because she's relying on only one strategy. I have a property. I'm losing value of this property. I need to rent this property quickly. I can't even get access to tenant. There's limited movement, right? What do I do right now? Because from the beginning, you didn't do your homework properly. You rely on only one income stream, on one strategy. So when you're investing in property, always think, what other strategy can I do right now? There's 15 strategies you can do, right? Doesn't have to be only rentals. Could be multi-let, right? Could be students' accommodation. If you didn't know, universities are still paying to people who are involved in students' accommodation. You would think, hey, students went home, but they're still paying for it. So that strategy works great right now. So having more strategies, more income streams right now, and you should be fine, right? But again, building it to avoid being again in this situation that you're right now. Because whatever is happening right now, this COVID-19 crisis, pandemic, we're going to overcome this. Next year, this time, we're going to be laughing at this. We're going to be hugging, hopefully, like once you overcome, but we're going to overcome this and we're going to see what can we do next. But understand something. There's a reason why interest rates are so low right now, because banks need your business, right? They lowered it because they want you to buy more properties. And people are afraid, I don't want to buy anything right now. I need my money right now to stay with me because what if I lose them tomorrow? Look, that's why they want your money to buy properties more lowest interest rate. All of a sudden, hey, if I buy now for the low interest rate, that might be a good option. I won't pay monthly high payment, right? So might be a good option to consider variable interest rate, but really depends how much your bank will offer you, right? So those are the things. I mean, in terms of opportunities are everywhere if you look hard enough. I mean, I was talking recently, just an example, a photographer. I met a photographer, and he's telling me, yo, Milan, you know what? I was doing corporate shoots, and now I can't even go on the field. I can't even do anything. What can I do? Right. I need to wait for this lockdown to be finished so I can start doing shoots again. I say, okay, but what else can you do? What are you good at? I say, I'm good in video editing. In photography, I also have to do a lot of photo shoot. I mean, Photoshops are great. So you're good in doing Photoshops, right? And video editing, right? How about you create an offer, a service or a product that you can offer to people online, because everything is online right now. How about you offer that service? Hey, look, I'm good at Photoshops, and I can offer my service to you and remove some backgrounds or different things. I can do some video editing for you, because people right now, if you didn't know, everything is online, right? People building websites, they need some video introductions. They need some great photography filtering. So you use your other skills that you can during this pandemic, right? I mean, one of my other side hustles, and I'm going to talk about a bit later as the time goes by, I do different online business models, different programs. And this was my best month ever doing this. And one of the platforms I use, it's called Fiverr. If you guys didn't know, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
people think, oh, you go there and pay something for $5. But hey, I spend 1 minute of my time per day, and I made this much, over $700. That's close to 14,000 rand, but doing that 1 minute per day. My side hustle, because everybody's online.
That's what it
So
is.
if you think as a business owner, right? If you have that product, service, that business, what else can you do differently? What kind of value can you offer to your people by the computer, to myself? What else can you offer? Like, I mean, look, massive opportunity right now in medical supplies, right? Not just in South Africa, around the world. The
Around the
highest
world.
demand right now, if you guys know N95 masks, the
Yes.
highest demand, respirators, it's right now. And guess what? Who's involved in N95 supplying and buying and selling? Is connecting with myself, because I saw a great opportunity from the beginning, and I connected people looking for masks, connected people who have them, and you basically become a middleman. But I
That's
want
it.
you to think about it differently. What if you have access to a product or service that someone else is looking for, right? If somebody's looking for an attorney, someone else is looking for a mask, why don't you recommend that to someone else and be that middle person and charge
Mhm.
for that service, right? What if you have access to a deal? Say, Milan, I have a deal. Here's the deal, but I want you to pay me. I don't mind paying for it, right? What if you have access to masks or something that people need right now?
Wow.
Find that service, right? Offer it to someone else and charge for that service. You become a sourcing professional. You think outside the box. You're not
Yeah.
relying on the government. You're not relying on
Absolutely.
your company to pay you tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen, right? You're thinking outside the box. But this is, John, this is difference in our mindset, yours and mine, a lot of people that are part of our network, right? We always looking for ways to grow our business, and we're never going to settle down. It's not about, hey, I'm happy, I'm making 10,000 rand a month, I'm happy with my business. It's about, how can I make 20,000 rand? How can I make 40? How can I make 1 million rand a month? What? It's always the growth. It's not about the money. Don't get me wrong. It's not about the money. It's about, how do I grow more so I can change more lives, so I can
That's it.
contribute more to the community, so I can give back to this country that made me who I am today. That's what this really is about, folks.
Man, you
You
know
can
what?
have
You and I
every,
share the same mindset. That's the
how,
calling right there, right?
you can have everything you want to in your life, even right now, even more during this pandemic. There was more millionaires created in the recession times more than ever before. You can have everything you want to have in your life with enough time. Now you have time. You're sitting at home, nothing else to
Yep.
do, right? Commitment, dedication. Put
That's
yourself into it. Learn the skills. There's a lot of free courses online. Go to Udemy, cheap courses from experts.
that's
Learn
it.
about building websites. Learn about photos, whatever. You can learn literally about anything. Write down, what are my skills? Are you good in writing? Look, writing blogs, articles right now. People have websites that need someone to write for them. Crazy. Look, people looking for virtual assistants. Type in online. How do I make more money right now online? There's 50 to 100 different ways of making money online right now. So if somebody tell me, Milan, I don't know what to do, I will literally punch you in your face. Don't tell me that ever again. There's so many opportunities. But the problem is always the same. I don't know.
I
And
don't
I'm not
know.
even willing, to learn, because I think it's never going to work for me, Milan. Well, that's the problem, folks. When people think it's never going to work, it's never going
Yeah.
to work. The moment you think it's going to work, it has to work because my money
Yeah.
is running out next month, then it will work. When you think about you kids sitting home hungry, your older parents sitting home not having money,
Mm.
then you're going to wake up, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes. But the question is, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Because guess what? John and I, we are willing to do whatever it takes. But are you willing to do whatever it takes? If
That's what's
you
up.
are, success will happen.
You know,
That's
today I posted on Facebook and I say, you know what? From today on, start owning your dreams.
that's it.
And that's what it is. You
That's it,
got to
brother.
own your dreams, because if you don't own your dreams, you're going to fulfill somebody else's dreams. And how do you do that? By working for that person. That's what's
Let me tell
up.
you, man, there's
That's the
something
dream.
powerful. I was talking to Sylvia, my wife, and she's my best friend, and I love her to bits. And she said to me, Milan, look, we're the same in this thing. Our financial independence is unconditional.
Right.
Unconditional. Our kids, we look at our kids. I always have this little wallet. Back in the days when I was a kid, didn't even have the wallet, but now I have photos of my kids in my wallet. And if I feel stuck in the morning, if I feel depressed, I look at my kids' photos. That's more than enough to get me going to say, Milan, today you're going to do this. You're going to spend hours. Look, let me tell you guys, I work during the night. I work at night. Why? Because during the day, I just can't. My kids are all around and just can't. I realize, look, I'm not going to let this stop me of doing it. I'm going to devote them all the time I have, but I'm going to find time to work on my businesses during the night because that's the
Right.
time when I'm the most productive and I don't have disturbance. So, folks, find that strength within you. What is your why? People say, I always talk about why, but you need to find it. What is the reason you want this? Find it, and success will happen.
And what you're saying right now is so important for our viewers right now. Look, we never said it wasn't going to be hard. It is definitely going to be hard. And at times you are going to be depressed. I mean, look at Milan. He says he's got photos of his children that are giving him back motivation and reminding him of the reasons why he's working hard. And that whenever he gets a stumbling block, all he's got to do is to open up his wallet and see that. It's going to be hard. And for a lot of us, we can see Milan has got a great portfolio, and of course we are going to unpack a lot of things on Friday. It's the same time. A lot of people could be saying, "Hey, you know what? Wow, this man, I envy his life. Wow, I would love to be like him." And by the way, you got a beautiful car, man. Look at him, Maserati, a blue one. Jeez, I love this car, man. So, and this, and yet he is human, just like everybody else. So he can go through difficult moments. And talking about what you mentioned earlier on about identifying opportunities, remember when we had the master class, and at the end of the master class, I came to you and Sylvia and I said, guys, I have a feeling you guys are letting a lot of money lying around there. And guess what? Me thinking outside the box, I used your own strategies for me to unveil another way to make sure we're bringing everybody on board, because there's so much money we're leaving on the table. Right. And guys, for you guys to know, Friday is going to be the best thing. But because we talk about master classes, the one thing I want you to do is, I know you have a beautiful office here in Four Ways, just opposite. By the way, it's opposite Design Quarter,
right?
And just by the round circle there, you have a beautiful office there, and that's where thousands and thousands of people have gone in for the in-class masterclass. Right? It's a 2 days intense, and I mean intense masterclass. And by the way, before we carry on, guys, if you have any questions, because we're going to wrap up in about 5-10 minutes, if you have any questions for Milan right now or myself, please write them below. And if you're asking any questions on my private page on Facebook, I will not be able to see that, unfortunately, for whatever reason. Our technicalities here don't allow that. But if you go on my live page, I will automatically see your questions and be able to post that right here. So, Milan, I want you to talk about your masterclasses. And also, I mentioned this morning, by the way, I spoke to you and I said, hey, you know what? We're launching our online academy pretty soon. And a lot of entrepreneurs from the DRC, from South Africa, from Botswana, and Nigeria, they're all flocking around and want to know more. So obviously, as part of my academy, there's going to be a real estate investing masterclasses. So I want you to really explain what entails, what's packaged within, so that the people here can understand what opportunities are there.
Right. I mean, look, the reason for all this is, again, the mindset, right? And you said it earlier. If 9 of your friends are broke, guess what? You're going to be the 10th one, right? But if 9 of your friends are millionaires, well, guess what? It's just a matter of time before you will become one. And so it's all about surrounding yourself with people who are there where you want to be, who know more than you, right? Yep. And I mean, people fall under influence of people around them, their friends, their immediate family, right? The most influential people in your life. But the problem is, have they done it themselves? Have they invested in property, or have they heard the stories of someone else? So, I mean, we created a masterclass, and I'm not really going to spend much time on it right now because our business, we into events business industry, and everything's closed right now. But we are preparing something big. So follow me on social media, and I'm going to be there announcing anytime soon when's it going to happen. But the masterclass is more of achieving your success through property, and I really want you to identify what that success is for you. I mean, don't get kind of blinded by my success. So look, I have buildings, I have properties, I have cars. That doesn't really matter. But what matters is, what is that success to you? I mean, how much money you want to have per month? I can help you achieve that a month through property, because that's what I learned from other people, how to reach that 10,000 rand per month, or 50 or 100 or more, how to get to that point to have passive income every single month. Now, if you want to have buildings, you can do that. That's another step. But really is the question: what does success means to you? Is it owning a one house fully paid off and enough money for the rest of your life? And that's okay, right? For me, it's never ending story. It's always growing and reaching that next level. Look, if you're able to have one property that you bought using someone else's money, then you can also have two properties. If you're able to have one building, then you can have two. And then you can have a hotel. Why stopping yourself, limiting yourself, settling down to, oh, I can only have one house, little house somewhere, without even dreaming bigger? Why not have that big house of your dreams? You carve your dreams because you can. But maybe you don't know that you can. That's the problem. So finding people, I mean, we created a masterclass where you really meet people who are accomplished, who went through programs and who are experts, who are doing it, what I'm talking about right now, and really getting inspired through these stories. That's what's all this about. Someone to wake you up a little bit, say, hey, dream bigger because you can.
That's it.
Stop lowering yourself down, right? Stop thinking smaller. There's nothing wrong. But what if you release your wings and really have what you want to have in your life? What if I can show you a path that if you follow this path, you will
That's it.
take it up to the next level? What if you can build a legacy for your kids and their kids? What if all you have to do is try and believe in me and success will happen? And what if with a little bit of a push, I can take the next level? That's what this really is about, right? Being open to it. And I see Bongani there, the other guys who are part of this journey with us. It's amazing having amazing people who see the breakthrough to this journey through business entrepreneurship is also changing their mindset completely. Because sometimes, look, I might be a bit loud today because I'm really passionate about.
I know you're excited, just like me.
Right, what I'm saying. Because you see what you've done and you see possibility, right? And you see what other people have done and you see, hey, you can do the same thing. Just have to shake you a bit, and there's more people the same like us, and just let it go and go with it, right? In any business, look, in any industry, there's a business, there's a person who's on the top. Like you and I, we follow Grant Cardone and I like Gary Vee, other people who are there, right? And you want to be like them, you want to get to that point. So those are the ones to show you a bit of a different point. And all you have to do, accept the fact, okay, how do I get to the next point? How do I build my business? How do I have more properties? How do I reach that point to have that dream house? What do I need to do? So the masterclass for us was a solution. We've seen a lot of people straight to the point education. What do you need to do to take yourself to the next point? How to build your property portfolio to the next point? Who are the people that you need to have in your team? Because this is a team business. You need to have someone to help. Who are these people to help you reach that next level in order to become successful?
So there's a question. Your wife. There you go, man. Come on. And I love when you say that. Dang.
Right on, brother.
Ask that question. Is property investment in retail right now just as profitable?
Absolutely, but it shouldn't be your only strategy to rely on, right? Because now you might have tenants who failing to pay you. Have they gotten this relief to pay? You don't really know. But if you're just starting out right now, you should build a relationship with estate agents, looking for deals below market value, and then eventually position yourself in different strategies down the line. This should never be your only strategy to rely on. Again, the same mindset, don't never rely on one strategy. Eventually, I want you to go into commercial. I want you to go into students' accommodation and have your own buildings. Why not? I mean, we can talk about this forever, but there's a lot of opportunities. Again, having one property, very, very risky position to be in, because it's still one. But if you have 7 or 8 properties, if one fails to pay, you still have 7 to cover that loss. So it's about growing it and putting yourself into the point that, okay, I'm a bit better position because I have more income streams, right? Again, it should never also rely only on property. You should have other businesses outside of that. That's how you grow as well. I hope it
Exactly. That's why you and I are talking to a lot of things. I mean, you're not only doing properties, you're doing trading, traditional financial markets and the capital market, but also the blockchain and cryptocurrency market. Those are the things that Milan and myself are looking into. This is a beautiful session. So one last question that I'm going to ask, and hopefully that's going to help a lot of people following us right now. And I know the answer is not into the full answer on the path is not in today's session, but it is just enough to get you excited and to be ready with your questions so that next not next week, but this coming Friday at 7 p.m. You can come in and invite the entire village to come and listen to Milan. In fact, we're gonna have four people. It's gonna be Milan. It's gonna be his wife, and his wife has an amazing story. I'm gonna bring her on the 8th of June
Dang.
to talk about her own personal journey. She comes from the hood. She comes from the township,
From the
and
hood, man, from Harakua. Yes.
yeah, and man, she drives a beautiful house, a beautiful car, and I've seen she's just amazing, beautiful, and and we're gonna have another guy from Israel talking to us exactly about how we are tokenizing properties, especially for us to create digital tokens and on the blockchain and giving a fractional ownership, digital ownership to people who want to get started in real estate, but don't necessarily have a lot of cash. And as part of that, I'm going to talk about a use case right now, a property development in Ghana that I'm actually involved with. It's a massive project, but you guys will be fed with a lot of information on Friday. So I want to ask you this. Okay, somebody's telling me he wants student accommodation. Great, but we're going to talk about that on Friday. How should one get started in real estate investing and property development? How can you help people to get started? Just the ingredients, not everything, not right now, but
Right.
just the ingredient to closing this particular session right now.
Perfect. I mean, look, everything starts with the knowledge. Get enough right knowledge, and then slowly you're going to get into the strategy that you find is the most suitable for you. Because look, it's not only one strategy. There is 10 ways of funding apart from the banks and 15 strategies. So you need to understand these strategies and then figure out, okay, maybe I can go into retail. Maybe I can focus on commercial. Maybe how do I buy land and build units, and what can I really build? Right? So first thing first, get the right knowledge. Learn as much as about property. There's powerful books out there for people who like reading books. But once you get the knowledge, the next thing is like, how do I turn this knowledge into action? Where do I find deals? How many deals I need to do to see the profit, how much profit I want to make? Being very clear with what do you want in property, how much money you want to make, where do you see yourself in a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We always set these goals to our students, right? Where do you see yourself, right? Having a clear goal, and then we can go backwards. Okay, you want to make 1 million rand a month through property? Let's go backwards. What do you have to do to take yourself to the next level? So backwards, right? What do you want really? What do you really, really want? And put the amount of money, because everything is related to money. And even I encourage people, build your own, like a vision board. Don't be even afraid. It might be sounds funny, like put a picture of your dream house on the vision board, put it in front of it, put it in your wallet, right? Your dream car, whatever it is, because that is the goal. Think about it every single day, subconsciously thinking about it, and then property can get you that. The question is, how much that's going to cost you, how much money you need to make through property, through passive income, through equity. Eventually, we're going to talk about more on Friday, but starts with the knowledge. First thing, don't make the same mistake like me. I'm going to go as the time goes by. I made a lot of mistakes, costed me tons of money until I learned the right, proper way. And that's how I was able to save time and money, essentially put myself on the back, on the right road.
You know what?
This makes sense.
This is beautiful. In fact, you had to go, it was predestined, right? So you had to go through that path. You had to spend that eight years whereby you felt like you didn't do nothing until for you to go in and get through the master class or actually the mentorship. And for you to today become a magnet and offering these sessions. And as a matter of fact, for you to be on this show right now, talking to our audience, and you and I embarked on an amazing journey of friendship and partnership and amazing stuff that we have to accomplish together this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, I always say this: always start with the end goal in mind, and then reverse engineer. So, for example, we are in May right now, 5 days towards June, and ask yourself the question: how much money do I want to end up with in my bank account, net amount, by the end of the year? And then find the right vehicle that will get you there, and then reverse engineer. You are here today, and what do you need between now and the end of the year so you can actually get or accumulate as much money into your pocket? I've got goals of my own. since December, I was already setting up my goals for the end of this year. And the COVID-19 perhaps is slowing down or also creating other opportunities. But you know what? My team and myself are still working towards accomplishing that path. So the goal should remain the same. The path to getting there may change. It will zigzag until you definitely ultimately get to the end goal. So Milan, thank you very much, my brother. You are an
Pleasure,
awesome
man.
man. This is a session that I really wanted you to be on, and excited a lot of people here. And just a quick reminder: please invite your friends. Come back on Friday, 7 o'clock. Of course, we are going to talk about a few things. Milan and I are going to go live on Instagram. We can actually do that on Thursday to talk exactly just about for about half an hour. A prelude towards Friday. So if you don't follow Milan, please go on Instagram and follow him, and just as much as I follow him as well. So he and I will share a lot of good nuggets in preparation for the Friday show. And 4 people in total are going to be on that particular show, giving us the knowledge. I'm here to be able to educate, to inspire you guys, to help you redefine your hustle. That's exactly what it is, man. If the
That's it.
government comes to us, let us be the people to help you. And in return, help other people to get to their path to success. That's exactly what the journey is all about, man. Okay. Thank you very much. I love you guys. And I thank you all for tuning in and for asking your questions and sharing the love. And until next time, keep on.
Cheers, guys. All the best.
Bye now.